Adi Parva, Book 1, Chapter 26. Shatakratu, deeply shaken by fear, turned to Brihaspati and said, "Venerable One, why have these terrible omens arisen?" Previously, Garuda, seeking strength to fetch the Amrita and free his mother, releases the Brahmin and his Nishada wife unharmed, then consults his father Kashyapa. Kashyapa tells of two brothers, Vibhavasu and Supratika, who cursed each other into the forms of a tortoise and an elephant in punishment for their greed. The moment Garuda's feet touched the tree branch, it snapped. He caught it before it could fall, gripping it tight. As he steadied himself in the air and looked at what he held, he saw the Valakhilyas, thumb-sized sages of immense ascetic power, hanging head downward from the wood. Fearing for their lives, the Lord of Birds swooped carefully and seized the branch in his beak, resolved not to harm them. Then he flew on, slowly and with great care, his passage splitting mountains apart as he went. He traveled over many lands, carrying the elephant and the tortoise along with the branch, out of compassion for those small sages. Yet he could find nowhere safe to set it down. He flew on until he came to Gandhamadana, foremost among mountains, and there he found his father Kashyapa, deep in tapas. Kashyapa looked up and saw his son approach, that bird of divine form, blazing with radiance and might, swift as thought and wind combined. Garuda towered like a mountain peak, terrible as the Brahma Danda raised in judgment, beyond thought and beyond reckoning, and dreadful to every creature that lived. He bore a power born of Maya, blazing like a great fire kindled and set loose, unconquerable by Devas, Danavas, or Rakshasas alike. He could shatter mountain peaks and drain rivers dry. His very presence was like Kritanta, death itself arriving. Knowing his son's purpose, Kashyapa spoke at once. "Son, do not act rashly. You will bring pain upon yourself. Do not let the Valakhilyas, who sustain themselves on sunbeams, burn you in their fury." For Garuda's sake, Kashyapa then turned to those sages and appeased them, addressing them with care. "O you whose wealth is tapas, Garuda undertakes this journey for the welfare of all beings. He wishes to perform a great deed. Be pleased to grant him your leave." The venerable Kashyapa's words were enough. The sages released their hold on the branch and departed, making their way to the sacred Himavan to continue their austerities elsewhere. "Venerable One, where shall I set this branch down? Tell me of a region free from Brahmins." Kashyapa described a mountain to him, uninhabited, its caverns sealed by snow, inaccessible to others in body or thought. Fixing that distant mountain in his mind, Garuda flew there swiftly, still bearing the branch along with the elephant and tortoise. No strap fashioned from 100 hides could have encircled that branch, so vast was its span. Yet in no great span of time, Garuda covered a distance of 100,000 yojanas and reached the mountain his father had named. In obedience to Kashyapa's words, he released the great branch. It struck the mountain with a resounding crash. The king of mountains shook, battered by the gale of Garuda's wings, and its trees, jolted loose, shed a sudden rain of blossoms. The gem-studded, gold-bright peaks that had given the mountain its glory shattered in every direction. Many trees, struck by the falling branch, blazed as if adorned with golden flowers, like storm clouds lit from within by lightning. Laden with golden blooms and mingled with the mountain's bright minerals, they shone under the sun's rays in brilliant confusion. Then Garuda settled on one of those peaks and ate both the elephant and the tortoise. When he was done, he leapt again from the mountain-top, swift as thought. At the moment of his departure, terrible omens swept through the world of the Devas. Indra's beloved Vajra blazed in sudden distress. A great meteor, trailing smoke and flame, fell from the sky. The weapons of the Vasus, the Rudras, the Adityas, the Sadhyas, the Maruts, and all other divine hosts turned against one another of their own accord, a thing that had never happened before, not even in the great wars between the Devas and the Asuras. Violent winds with thunderclaps swept through the heavens, and meteors fell on all sides. Even the cloudless sky roared aloud. Even Indra himself rained blood at that moment. The garlands of the Devas withered. Their radiances dimmed. Dreadful clouds rained blood. Rising dust battered their crowned heads. Shatakratu, deeply shaken by fear, turned to Brihaspati and said, "Venerable one, why have these terrible omens arisen? I see no enemy in battle capable of overpowering us." Brihaspati replied, "O Devendra, O Shatakratu, through your own transgression and negligence, a wondrous being has come into existence through the tapas of the Valakhilyas. The son of the sage Kashyapa and Vinata, that sky traveler, mighty and able to take any form at will, has come to carry off the soma. That bird, foremost among the powerful, is capable of stealing it. I consider him able to accomplish everything, even what seems impossible." Hearing this, Indra spoke at once to the guardians of the Amrita. "A bird of immense might and power is coming to carry off the soma. I warn you now, so that he may not seize it by force. His strength is beyond measure. So Brihaspati has told me." The celestials stood amazed, but they wasted no time. They took up their positions and encircled the Amrita. They put on their finest armor, golden, ornately wrought, set with Vaidurya gems, and raised by the thousands many kinds of weapons, fearsome in appearance, their blades sharp and keen-edged. Discus wheels, iron parighas, tridents, and battle axes spat sparks and flames, wreathed in smoke. Keen-edged spears, bright swords, and fierce maces, sized to their own great forms. All these they gripped and held ready. Armed with those radiant weapons, and adorned with divine ornaments, the host of Suras stood without blemish, blazing with bodies like fire, their strength and vigor beyond measure, steadfast in their resolve to guard the Amrita and destroyers of Asura citadels. That vast array thronged with hundreds of thousands of iron clubs and spread through the sky like a great moving mass, lit by the rays of the sun, waiting for what was to come. This chapter matters because Garuda, bearing the broken branch with the Valakhilyas safely upon it, lands on a remote mountain at his father Kashyapa's direction, releasing the branch with a crash that shatters peaks. In the next chapter, the vow of the Valakhilyas and the birth of Garuda, Shaunaka asks the Sutta to explain Indra's offense and Garuda's origins. The journey continues in the next chapter.